The No Fate channel, checking in. On this episode of Dad's Home Gym, I'm going to be showing you how to pick the best sandbag for you. And I'm going to be going over my top 5 sandbag exercises that are sure to knock the snot out of you. On this series, I typically review a piece of home gym equipment to help you decide if it's right for your home gym, if you are going to be getting your expectations met, or better yet, exceeded with that piece of equipment, and most importantly, if it's worth your hard-earned money. The purpose of a fitness sandbag is 100% functional training. You are taking a relatively heavy weight and you are going to move it through a wide range of motion across anywhere from, in today's case, 5 exercises, but upwards of 50 different types of exercise. And the beauty of the sandbag is that no rep is ever the same because the interior contents is constantly shifting. Your body has to adapt to those changes on every rep. You are going to be taxing your breathing, your heart rate, and absolutely your muscles. Hey, let me know in the comments below if you've ever used a sandbag before to train with. With over 50 different sellers of sandbags out there, why do I have a REP Fitness Sandbag? 2 main reasons. Over the past 18 months, I picked up 3 pieces of REP Fitness equipment. On each and every one, they exceeded my expectations on quality, on delivery, and on, most importantly, value. Remember, price is what you pay, but value is what you get. And the second reason is they had a Memorial Day sale. It's 2021. Fitness companies are finally having sales. So what should you be on the lookout for when it comes to buying the best sandbag for you? And I'm going to jump into things that matter the most to you, and that is cost. When it comes to home fitness equipment, most people look at cost as the #1 differentiator. As you can imagine, sandbags range in price. I'm going to tell you straight away, try to stay away from the cheap ones. You're mentally going to be gravitated towards those because you think you're getting a deal. Unfortunately, they're not going to feel right. The sand isn't actually going to fit right. Oftentimes, those inexpensive ones break both on the outside and they bust on the inside. And because sandbags, or at least a good quality sandbag, should last you a lifetime, it's worth putting in a little bit extra money to get a lot more value out of. I will tell you that this REP Fitness 25 to 75 pound sandbag did run me $50, but since I'm expecting a lifetime worth of use out of it, I'm not that upset at that price point. Keep in mind, because they have different sizes, you are going to be paying more for the bigger sizes because you're getting more fabric. So let's talk about one thing that people don't necessarily look at. It's often hidden, and a lot of the cheaper companies go super cheap on it, and that is this thing right here, the zipper. Okay, in order to load and unload the interior bags of sand, you need to use that zipper. And if you plan on loading and unloading different weights in here, you want to have a sturdy zipper because it's not only going to take a beating, it's going to get used often. And this is a nice thick zipper. This is what you should be looking for. Unfortunately, a lot of the lower end ones will go cheap on the zipper because that's not what some people look at. The other thing on the outside of the sandbag you want to be on the lookout for is handles. People think they only need 2 handles on a sandbag, and they are wrong. With so many different exercises out there, you want different handles in order to do different exercises. So just speaking about REP Fitness, you got the 2 on the top, you got the suitcase one on the front, and on the flip side, you got 2 more, but if you notice, they're shaped differently because there's different style exercises. And then of course, you've got the 2 on the back side. So sticking with the outside, another thing to be aware of is the fabric. If you can imagine, you're going to be doing exercises where you're dropping these on the ground. You're dragging these across the ground. You're beating these things up. You want a tough, durable fabric so that on the bottom or on the sides, you're not going to get a tear on your exterior shell of your sandbag. More importantly than the fabric is how the handles are stitched and connected to the fabric. As you can imagine, rep after rep, you're yanking on this heavy piece of fabric. You don't want the stitching to come out and to have these handles pull out. REP Fitness looks like they use a double or even a triple stitch, and then they put these little metal, I don't know if you call them a grommet, but they put them in there to sink these things in place and make sure that they are going nowhere. And now it's time to talk about the one thing that most sandbag sellers never highlight in their marketing photos, the interior bag. And the interior bag is so important because when you go cheap, it's gonna bust, and everything in the bag is gonna be everything on your home gym floor. So what should you be looking for? First and foremost, you want a pretty thick material, durable material. That goes without saying. More importantly, and harder to kind of pick up in photos, is the stitching. You want the stitching to be double stitched. You want it to be thick and durable, especially at the seam, because that's where it's going to leak first, and you can see REP Fitness does it right. Also, what you want to be on the lookout for is the opening. Now, the opening is the one spot where everything goes in, and if you're not careful, everything's going to come out. You want double Velcro. What's that mean? It means there's Velcro on the inside and Velcro on the outside. It's a pain to open up, so I'm not going to do it on camera. But the reason it's a pain is that means it's not going to open up and leak unexpectedly. Ideally, once you fill these things up, they're going to be filled for life. While we're talking about the interior filler bags, let's talk about the number one error that most people make, and that is overfilling your sandbag. People will get a sandbag. Now, this is able to hold up to 25 pounds, and they fill it up to the top. That's a surefire way for disaster. If you read the instructions and you do it right, you want to fill it 3/4 of the way up to the top. This is a 25-pound sandbag, and I actually have only like 22 pounds in it. I'm a firm believer that you really should be underfilling your sandbags just slightly to give it that extra room for the sand to move around, for that functional fitness, and to prevent any type of blowouts when you are training with these things. You should be filling up your sandbag with premium play sand. You can get it at any hardware store, even on Amazon.com. Up here in New England, 50 pounds runs you about $6. For a select few of you who want to fill in this sandbag, but you don't want all of that weight, you can use a pea stone and rubber mulch mix. It gives you the same feel and effect, but it's not as dense. How do you pick the right weighted sandbag for you? I'm going to tell you that most people let their ego take over and they think they need to get the heaviest sandbag for them, or they need to get the sandbag and then fill it up above capacity. You don't want to do that. For 90% of the people watching today's video, this 25 to 75 pound sandbag is going to be ideal. It's going to fit the weight range of almost all of you watching this video. I'm 6'1", I'm 185. This sandbag is perfect for me. Most of the time, I'm going to be using that 47-pound sandbag that's already in there. I'm going to leave it as is. A few times when I want to go high reps or I want to do something really long in terms of a workout, I may switch out the 50 for this 22, and then maybe on a lark, if I really want to do something super heavy, I'll put both of them in here. If you're just using that smaller bag, you're going to have a little bit of extra give in here that might make this bag feel a little sloppy. And what you want to do is you get yourself a dollar pool noodle, and you're going to cut yourself off 2 sections, and when you put that in, you're going to put these in as well to just fill up that extra space to give it a bit more rigidity during those workouts. You're still going to have all the benefits of having a sandbag and that movement of the weight, but you're not going to have that uncomfortable nastiness of the thing just kind of falling apart in your hand. It's time. It is time for the top 5 soul-crushing sandbag exercises that are absolutely going to kill calories. Number 1 marries our hate for deadlifts with our hate for burpees. It's called a burpee deadlift. You are going to use this sandbag as your platform for your burpee. So instead of coming down in a push-up position, you are going to come down in a punch position, and you're going to do the push-up portion off of the top of your sandbag. On the top range, instead of jumping in the air and clapping your hands above your head, you're simply going to hold on to that sandbag and complete a deadlift, squeezing at the top. Number 2 is the clean and squat. That's right, we're just marrying really difficult exercises to create the final form of a really, really difficult exercise. You have that beautiful explosive movement of a clean with the sandbag. You're going to be using these handles. You clean it up to the front of your chest, and then in one fluid motion, if you can, you then do a front squat with that weight on your chest. And for some of you who are used to cleaning heavy weight or even squatting heavy weight, this may seem very easy. But unfortunately, it's a sandbag, so that weight is always moving, always changing, and it adds up. Number 3 is an up-down plank pull-through. It's pretty convoluted, but it gets the job done. So instead of your simple plank that many of you might be familiar with to kind of hit those abs, hit that lower back, you are going to be doing a plank into a push-up position, and at the top of the push-up position, you are gonna pull through across the underneath of your body this sandbag, and then you are gonna repeat the process and then pull through this sandbag, and it is absolutely going to blast your shoulders, your obliques, your abs, and your lower back. Number 4 is a unilateral squat to overhead press. You are gonna get that sandbag, baby, on one side of your shoulder. You're gonna squat down, and when you come up, you're gonna lift that sandbag over your head, place it on your other shoulder, rinse, and repeat. And you are gonna find that having weight on one side of your body while you squat is an absolute game changer. Not only that, your shoulders are gonna be absolutely fatigued trying to just clear your head with that sandbag. Number 5, I saved the best for last, the full Monty. It is a burpee, deadlift, clean front squat. Yep, all in one succinct movement. And 1 rep is going to absolutely test your resolve. And if you try to hit 20 or 30 of these things, well, you got yourself a full day's workout. So that's my top 5. I know there are 50 to 100 different exercises you can do with this bad boy. Let me know your favorite sandbag exercise in the comments below. If you're interested in a REP Fitness Sandbag or anything else from REP Fitness, again, I have been happy with everything that I've bought to date from REP Fitness. Check out their affiliate link in the description of today's video. It does help out the channel, and it helps pay for the lights and the cameras to do this video. As usual, thank you for watching, and don't save anything for the trip back. This channel is dedicated to my life as a father of 2 wonderful children, and it centers around health, fitness, and all of the tricks and tribulations that I go through to try to be a great parent to my children and still accomplish my own personal goals.